So for today, which is definitely a different day than the last podcast recording we had.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, see, I changed my shirt and everything.
We definitely don't record more than one at one time. But for today, I wanted to show a commercial that was a bad ad campaign that I put together, and it's going to take a little bit of a turn, I dare say, sir, that it may be a little different than you guessed. It certainly was different than I guessed.
Breaking down advertisements, improving on them, redefining ad space. This is the Advertising Podcast.
So first, I'm going to play I'm going to play what is a TV commercial that I saw one night, and this was the commercial that made me reach out to this company to do business with them. So let me share my screen here. And even though it's a TV commercial, I feel like you'll be able to get a sense of it even just from the audio. But
all right, court is 9 session. The Honorable Judge Harold D. Davis presiding. First on the docket, Your Honor, is Andrew Jackson. He's been charged with disorderly conduct, public drunken, and indecent exposure.
Mr. Jackson, you understand you've been charged with?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Judge, do you remember me? I'm the one that'll do you to your wife.
Father, for my wife, you son of a gun. That's a $10,000 PR bond. My wife been good to me. Next case?
Next is Ms. Tia Rice. She's been charged with using vehicle without owner's consent and shoplifting.
That's right. You understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, but did you say order?
I did.
Can I get 2 chili cheese and a fry, please?
That's right. It's not that type of order. There'll be a $10,000 security bond, a $1,000 bill bond.
Oh, well, I'm not going to worry. I know somebody will be here quick, fast, in a hurry. I'll just call R&R.
Don't worry. R&R will be there quick, fast, and in a hurry. We ain't mad at you.
I remember their tag on.
oh, sorry.
The "We ain't mad at you." I love it.
So that's that. So that's that commercial. I saw that it was running during a football game, which is expensive. That's an expense. Obviously, they didn't spend much on the production, but it's an expensive place to run an ad. So I was like, obviously, this company has money. Obviously, they don't know what they're doing. Let me help them. I reached out to them. It took me quite a bit actually to get the appointment with them. Reached out to them. I was like, look, for what you spent for that 1 or 2 ad placements into a football game, let's build a multi-month thing running. Because for a bail bond, running off prime on radio is a good campaign because people are out and about. It's, the person that's out at 2 a.m., which is a very cheap place to buy an ad, is the same type of person that's most likely to need bail bonds help. And so I had them, we basically wrote this commercial, produced this commercial because I was like, obviously, they had a fairly small budget, which was why they didn't put anything into the production cost. They put it all into the placement. So I was like, how about this? One of the great things about radio is good production is super cheap. So we replaced that ad with this ad. Which will be for our podcast people, for the audio only folks, you'll be happy that this is only audio. So,
Hear ye, court is in session.
Judge, the defendant is Lucy Bell. She's charged with shoplifting.
Young lady, have you ever been up before me?
No, Judge. What time do you get up?
Order. Your bond will be $5,000 surety or $2,000 with a bondsman.
In jail and need a bailout? Don't shout. R&R will bail you out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Call R&R Bonding at 573-9883. You'll get a discount during R&R Springathon, 573-9883.
So, first of all, I think that's a good example of the difference between radio production and TV production. To do a good-looking TV commercial is expensive.
It really is.
To do a good-sounding radio commercial is, it's free, right? So But here's where this takes a turn. So that commercial, obviously from a creative, actually, I'll put it to you. From judging just from the creative, which one of those do you like? Or like,
Well, certainly the radio commercial was a lot more concise. What was that, a 15 or was that a 30? Was it 30?
I think it was a 30.
Yeah, it was a 30. Well, it was certainly more concise. I do like their tagline though. Even though it's not related, it's relatable. Like, so I maybe would have tried to incorporate that, but otherwise, yeah, I thought the audio only was a lot better. The other one was too convoluted. It was too long. It was too all over the place. It needed to get to the point.
So yeah, because I didn't. So yeah, the "We Ain't Mad at You."
Yeah,
I cut that out of the radio commercial, right? I think or did I cut that?
Did you end it too early?
No.
The quick, fast, and in a hurry was in there that I heard.
But I cut out the "We Ain't Mad at You" part.
Yeah. Okay.
That's interesting to note because that will play a factor here in a minute. So it's funny that you picked that up, because that's where the story takes a turn. So the shameless plug. I won a South Carolina Broadcasters Association award for the writing of that commercial. By the way, their star award, whatever that means.
No, I just poo-pooed it. Awesome. Yeah.
No, that's so. I mean, those awards are nonsense anyway. That and $2 will get you a cup of coffee. But that campaign was a flop. That radio campaign.
Was it?
So yes, I want to. So it was fine for me. I want a Star Award, and that gave me something I could put on my resume, right? But as far as what actually matters for the customer, yeah, she didn't get crap from that. And there's a few different reasons for that, I think, because you would assume, or one would assume, that the TV commercial which is horribly produced, you almost can't even understand like the audio part of it.
Right.
One would assume that would have a lower response rate than a South Carolina Broadcasters Association award-winning like radio production commercial. But it didn't, and I think one of the main reasons was the simple fact that when you're talking about something like bail bonds, do you really want the super polished, clean, like high paying, meaning high cost provider? That a concept of "we ain't mad at you." I'm thinking I'm doing what I didn't do when I wrote that commercial, which was putting myself in the mindset of, I like old vaudeville joke things. So one of the things I liked about the commercial that she came up with, that they had come up with did you say order? Well, then I'll take blah, 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 blah. I love that kind of stuff. That's like my level of humor. And so I included that old vaudeville thing of like, "Young lady, have you ever been up before me? I don't know, Judge. What time do you get up?" It's an old joke.
Yep.
No credit for me on coming up with the joke, but I was thinking purely from what would make a good commercial standpoint instead of what's going to actually get them more customers.
Right.
Which is where this went wrong. And so you don't always want like good, polished, clean things. Instead, what I should have done was, who's their target market? Someone who's just been arrested. If I've just been arrested, and have done something, or really even maybe the loved one of someone who's been arrested, that "we ain't mad at you" part actually resonates. Yeah. Because everyone in the world, or at least I would assume that the feeling you have is everyone in the world is judging you, looking at you, has harsh feelings about you.
Mm-hmm.
That if I was rewriting that commercial today, I was thinking about this just in preparation for this recording. I was like, man, if I was rewriting this commercial today, that's what I would have built the whole thing around. And I think it would have been a much better campaign. So it was just kind of interesting that you picked up on that, because we had not talked about that before. But yeah, because that's you don't, and also too, for some categories, if I'm having an operation done, I want the absolute best doctor in the world, right? You broke that.
Yeah, I want to see that they are polished, that they are put together, But if I need somebody to bail me out of jail, like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need you to be polished, whatever. Like, you just get me out of here.
Memorable is what you care most about. You know, just be like literally remembering that they exist. You know, it's probably challenge number one. And then, yeah, I mean, if I think I can save money by going somewhere else, you want the low cost provider, not the high cost provider. And sometimes coming off too polished, it paints this image that you're the high cost provider, which is
right.
Not good. In some cases, just being aware of the mindset of your buyer is what I didn't do, because in that instance. So that shitty TV commercial actually got them way more business than the award-winning radio commercial. And it's not because of TV versus radio. I think an off-prime schedule on radio was actually a good call. That's the only thing I did right. Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing I did right on that campaign was I think I did pick a good station and good times for them. I just biffed it on the copy.
Oh, right on. You know, that commercial reminded me of something. I don't know. Do you watch a lot of NBA?
No.
Well, years ago when the Warriors were on their big, what was that?
I said, but I know what it is.
It's the one with the bouncing ball, right?
Yeah, right.
So
National
years ago,
Association. Sorry.
Huh?
I said the National Broadcasters Association.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. Well, when the Warriors were on their big run several years ago, when they won several championships in a row, they would come out singing this goofy song that was a viral video that was very similar in the same vein. It was called Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. And you got to look this up on YouTube. It's got like millions of hits now. But and it's literally this guy. It's like the guy that owns the business and a guy, if I remember correctly, another person in a chicken suit. And they're standing in front of the business just kind of dancing, going, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. And they just sing this over and over and over again. And it was a crack up, and it was like as genuine as it could be, and it was awesome. But it was in the same vein as as that video that you just showed. It's just like, yeah.
Sometimes a bad ad makes sense.
Absolutely. Why not? Yeah.
I wanted to do this episode because a lot of the previous things we've talked about, one of the main things we dunk on is like the visual aspect of it, but that's not because a lot of times that is what's wrong, but it's definitely not the only factor. I mean, what's most important is knowing that you're talking to the right audience, and two, that you're connecting with whatever that audience is. So like, who is my buyer, or if it's recruitment, who is my ideal employee, whatever, like who am I trying to get to do something, and then what will appeal to them.
Yeah, much too often we stay in our own heads as like advertisers going, oh man, let me make this great ad, let me, and you hear me how many times I'm saying me. It's like, it's about them. We got to get them money. Like, who is their customer, what's their voice,
That's one of the things I hate about chasing, like award chasing and those types of things, is like, I've won 2 creative awards in my life. I hope I never win another one, because neither of those campaigns were successful for the actual client. Like literally both times it was like a 1 or 2 month campaign, and the client left being like, no, I didn't get crap from that.
I actually have one of those too. I won a print award and for this pizza place, and took this great photo of a guy throwing a pizza up in the air, and the ad looked beautiful. And nobody bought any pizzas, but I certainly got a little ribbon at a ceremony.
Yeah, exactly. And it's part of it. Sometimes it's ignorance, and sometimes it's arrogance. I don't remember exactly my mindset when I was writing that commercial, but I definitely wasn't thinking in terms of what's going to resonate with someone who's just been arrested. I was thinking purely of like, what would make a great ad, like, or what would be funny, or like, what would I like? I don't think I had it in my mind of like, let me try to win this award, but I was like, let me try to, I don't know, make a great commercial as opposed to making a great campaign. Like,
yeah. They sometimes look very different, and you might be writing something where you're sitting here going, man, I really don't like this, but it's what's going to work. And ultimately that's what matters most. You gotta We just got to stay on that track.
Exactly. That's why tracking and measuring is so important, because sometimes you can be like, sometimes, the greatest campaign in the world, like looking campaign in the world on paper, it's like you miss like this one little key ingredient, or you like this one little piece of it, and that's why you got to test.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the reasons, like, I love what we do so much with it being almost entirely digital advertising. We have so much data, we have so much to work with, and like we can A/B test different wording. We can do all these kind of things with a campaign to like continue to tweak to make it as best as it can be.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And it's also too why I like a lot of like our AI focus, like our rough drafts of almost everything come from AI. So copywriting and ads and those types of things. And I love that because it keeps, there's no hubris in an AI. Like there's
not yet.
Yeah. Do you think someday there will be like Google Brain will be like, I'm going to win this damn award? Like that's
hey, I don't know, but yeah,
right. Maybe.
We'll see. Anyway.
Thank you for listening to the Advertising Podcast, the podcast where we fix broken ads. Please remember that while marketing is an art, advertising is a science, and we at Draft Advertising Technology have the tools and tricks to help you treat it that way. For a bunch of early access to free tools, go to draftadtech.com. That's draftadtech.com. And of course, please like, subscribe, share, and if you leave us a review, just include your name or even the name of your company, and we'll mention you on air.